Hey everybody, another interview. I know you're excited because I get excited when we have these, especially when we have so many of them. We're really excited to have this week's guest on, Lisa, the punk rock psychic. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Aloha, by the way.
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for being on the show. I want
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's just get right into it. Everybody knows I'm super into Twitter, and I've stumbled upon you on Twitter, and I saw punk rock and I saw psychic, and I go, those are two things that I can get down with. What's up? Are you a punk rocker? Are you a psychic? What are you? Come on.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of both. I was born psychic, just like everyone else, but I chose to use it. I knew I was from a very young age and just thought about maybe 3 years ago it would be fun to do something as the real me in my business instead of trying to be like everybody else in my field. And I think it's good in any field to try to be your true self. So I think that's part of my mission is just to help be a good example of someone that is being authentic. So yeah, the punk rock bit resonates a lot with me. I have a lot of musical connections because I'm a musician and I grew up with punk rock and I like a lot of other musical genres, just like you guys. I know you interview a lot of musicians and stuff.
So you said that you've always been a psychic. When was the first moment that you knew that you had a gift?
Well, that's real interesting because I think being somebody too that went to parochial school from kindergarten to eighth grade, I was always getting information about people and things when I was sitting in class, but I remember it being at a really young age. I think it was, gosh, in preschool or kindergarten, I just felt something was going to happen, and it did. Like somebody got into trouble or something really mundane, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I know that was going to happen? And it just kind of increased the more I noticed it.
So this was like super young.
Yeah, ever since I guess I don't know, since I was like 4, I would say.
What did your family think of this?
Well, I think it was just very accepted because my mom and my grandma were really into psychic things. They would have a lot of psychic parties, and my grandma and I read tea leaves, and so we just sort of accepted this as normal. We were all very intuitive on my mom and grandma's side of the family, so it just was sort of a natural thing. But I just sort of knew too it was something maybe the rest of the world didn't resonate with, that I shouldn't, tell people about in public because they might, have something to say, especially going to a religious school.
So you had to hide this.
I think, yeah, a little bit, but then, I don't know, when I was a teenager, I think some of it accidentally would spill out a lot with friends, especially. I never owned really any tarot decks or anything until after college, but once in a while I would play with tarot decks and give people readings in high school, and they were like, "Whoa, you're really good at this." I'm like, "Am I? I'm just doing it. I can't explain it." But yeah, I think I hit it just because I knew that I could be really ridiculed for it, which I don't really care today as an adult what people think of me, but as a kid, I think you obviously have, a tendency to care more about what people think of you.
What are you like? Okay, I went to your website. You have a website. What's your website?
Well, the psychic one is punkrockpsychic.com.
You have a different one?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I'm doing a book that's coming out in November. It's self-help, so I have that one under my name, lisacilo.com. That's my author website. I have a book coming out this, in November with Hay House. So I'm excited about that.
Cool. Can we talk about that in a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, no, I'm flexible, so don't
Okay.
worry.
Cool. So the punk rock site, punkrockpsychic.com. I went over there and looked at it. Everybody should check it out. And I first thing I thought was, here's a psychic online. How does that work? You know, like, um, are you like you? I looked into it. You do email readings and phone readings. Is How does that work? How is it that how do you read somebody that's so distant?
That's an interesting question. I get asked a lot, and I enjoy answering it because it's a real simple thing. It's just tapping into energies, because energy, you don't need to be in the same place and in the same time frame. You can do it at a distance, and basically, without getting too woo-woo,
Uh-huh.
you know, the laws of the universe are very flexible, and so time and space are very flexible. And so it's really just intention. That's the main thing, is having an intention to connect with somebody's energy, and then, getting the practice and doing it, because our human ego will say that it's harder or it's not possible to read someone at a distance, but that, is just, I don't know, it's just a preference for me. I tend not to have people, since I work at my house, I don't really tend to have people over to receive readings. So I prefer doing I guess, in a little bit of a more indirect way, by the phone or email. And I think that it really helps to focus things, because when I sit down to type for an email reading, it gets to the heart of the matter. And when you're on the phone with somebody, it's more focused because you're paying. And so if you have a reading in person, you may not feel I guess, it's like the feeling that this is urgent, or, but it may be not as focused. So that's how I tend to work. Everybody is a little different as a psychic, but I prefer those methods. Maybe it's something to do with my own ADHD. I get really overwhelmed with being in public.
Uh-huh.
Doing readings, especially in public, is really tiring and draining. I'm really sensitive that way, so I prefer to do it that way. It's just a preference, and I think a lot of psychics do readings on the phone or email too.
Cool. Am I putting off energy right now?
Hey, yes, you are. I mean, everybody does.
But is my energy like super bright and hot, or is it like dull and
No, it's
blue?
funny. I see, like, probably because you're doing something that's involving public speaking, and you sort of gave me permission. I don't like to read, energy unless I have permission, but I am seeing around your throat center, which is the expression avenue in our energy system. Like, it's open. You're, talking, and we're having a conversation, and you're trying to get a message out there and help people. So you have that is kind of lit up, and I don't always see things, but certain people are a little bit more open and easy to read, and that's, I try not to, like, I just went grocery shopping today. I try not to, like, randomly read people,
Is that hard not to do? Like, is it hard not to, like, just be in a public space with a bunch of people and see things, or not, or try not to see things?
Yeah, I think that over the years I've really worked on managing it, because you can get really drained when you're out in public, and of course you don't want to intrude in someone's privacy, because sometimes that's very invasive. You'll even notice, like, if you start to read someone's energy, they'll look at you like, what are you doing? And try that sometime just to see how they respond. But yeah, it's hard at times, especially when your heart's really open and you let down your guard. And I notice I accidentally will read energies when I'm at a concert. Like, the artists will just be so open, and I will see their auras, their energy fields. The human energy field is a real beautiful thing, and it was hard not to. I was at a concert last week. I saw Slash and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and they were just so connected with the audience, and you just couldn't help, to read the energy. I tried not to, but I guess my human curiosity, I was really in the flow, just enjoying the music, and that's when it really dropped for me.
Have, have you ever been in a situation where you're around and someone knows, like, someone else has the abilities that you have, and that, like, then you're like, oh, like, in your brain? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're in your mind with each other?
Yeah, I know. That's interesting, because there is a telepathic sense of psychic work, or ability that, some people are really tuned in. And I think that when I've met other people that are intuitive, we just kind of know each other, it, or know that each other have it, and we'll just sort of have a silent conversation. It's a lot like telepathy. And, sometimes that's really overwhelming because, it may be, just like, whoa, you're not expecting it, especially if you're going about your everyday activities, doing errands, or, and I think we all have the potential to have telepathic, let's see if I can say the word, telepathic connections with each other in public or at a distance. Like sometimes the phone will ring and I'll know who it is, or just, I don't know, just knowing things that people are thinking without knowing how I know it, and I have to kind of watch that so it's not something I'm taking on and letting drain me, because it can be really overwhelming. That's like a real strong sensory overload if you're already a sensitive person, which I am, and then to have that element added to the sensitivity, it's just overwhelming. So I kind of have to shield myself a little bit in public, or going places, even with family functions. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm feeling everybody's stuff, and you have to sometimes ask yourself, like, is this mine or is this someone's else's around me? And I mean, we're all connected, we're all one, but you want to keep your own energy contained so it's not as tiring.
I get it. That's got to be tough. So like I said, I went over to your website. We know you do email readings, you do them over the phone. What other things do you offer?
Well, because I've studied a lot of healing work in the past, like I went to massage school, I've studied Reiki and energy work and different things, and so I always have had a real healing intent with any of my psychic readings or work in the intuitive realm, because I really want to use it to help people. And so the one thing that I work with people a lot is on getting to know their blocks, like where they're feeling blocked and what needs to be done, to help them to move forward. So there is this part of me too, it's the life coach, because, I've studied some of that stuff too. So I kind of consider myself eclectic, and sometimes people will come to me and they'll ask a question, and what what they really want to know is not being expressed by their question. Sometimes they'll ask about relationship, but when we get into the heart of the reading and we get a connection together, they'll feel comfortable about asking about other things, like about their job or other aspects of their life. So I try to go with the flow as much as possible and just be a messenger, if that makes sense. Just like, well, how does the person need me the most right now? How can they use me as a healing, channel for themselves?
I also noticed on your website that you offer the guidance for others to hone their abilities. Is this true?
Yeah, I've been working on developing a class, an intuitive developmental class, and I don't have that ready yet, but that's one thing I can give people a reading about, is how they are psychic and how it works for them. Because if I start to talk to you, I'll pick up some things that will cue me into like how it works for you, because it works different for every person. I think it really does. There's different senses that you have physically that you also have psychically, and so those are what I focus on, and how to sorry, my webcam is moving there. I don't know what it's doing.
Wait a minute. Wait, you're not doing that?
No, isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's wild. That's
yeah.
It's okay. That's wild, though. That's really wild.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be on the phone and I lose connection, discussing psychic things. So, yeah, I'll have to see what I can.
It just turned? Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It just turned on its own. That was wild. Wow.
Yeah, let's see if I can. I'll get in the picture over here and see. Okay, hi.
Hey.
Hi, webcam.
Hey. So let's just say your webcam has its mind of its own. That's really cool.
You just have to be, see, you have to really go with the flow with doing some of this work, because you don't know, even as I was about to log on here, it was like my computer, my Wi-Fi was kind of fried, so I had to reset that. I'm like, oh gosh, see, this is why I have to go with the flow. So
This is all the energy or something. Because I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've noticed this, but my camera has been turning off and on periodically through this. Have I been freezing periodically for you?
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit, and yeah.
it just went off right. It just went off again right there. Like, it's a trip. I don't know what's going on. This is cool. Maybe it's some sort of crazy energy flow. Um, can I ask you just a couple questions, just from some like that have really nothing to do with reading? Just what your thoughts on things. I've always thought about, when I think about like people that do certain things, and there's things out there. I wonder how you feel about certain things. Like, for instance, the fortune teller machines. Do you think that those are, what are your feelings? You throw like $1 into the machine, and Zoltan tells you, you know, everything's going to be okay. How do you feel about those
You
machines?
see, my inner child thinks those are fun. And so I'm one of those people that I think that the divine speaks to us in a variety of ways. And that, um, yeah, it's like there can be so many different ways that you can get messages. I think that if that is one of the ways, that might be how you get it, or it could be through maybe even a fortune cookie. And I've had some profound ones, even just sitting at Starbucks and looking when they used to have those little blurbs on the side of the cup, or just even those tea bags. I think it's Yogi Tea Company. They have messages on them, and so just noticing. I think that that's the key, is just listening and noticing. And the form of the message could be a variety of ways. It really can. It can be something like that. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I think the last time I saw a fortune teller machine was in Santa Monica, California, when I was traveling, and I had to do it, of course, So I think it's okay too to have fun with it. I'm not one of those like really staunchy people who's strict that, oh, you can't do this, it's sacrilegious, or it's not sacred. We put some judgments, I think, on that, on our human side, really, wanting to have fun and do some fun things.
How about those psychic type reality TV shows? Can you hear me?
No, I think it is like it cut out for a second, so you
Okay.
probably have to, sorry, you
Okay.
have to repeat.
What about those psychic like type reality shows where someone will come on and they'll do like an Oprah show, and they'll just do like, oh, this is what your deceased grandmother is saying.
Oh, okay, so like the mediumship side of
Yeah.
it more. Yeah, I've watched some of those, and I think that if the person, regardless of whether they're famous or not, they have a healing intention to help somebody, and they're really genuine, that I don't see anything wrong with, using TV as a vehicle to, touch people. Because a lot of times, what happens when readings are done publicly is that there'll be a message for somebody listening that it may not be exact same thing, but I've listened to some, and I'll hear something that is guidance for me too, that, or maybe there's a similarity somehow, like that person was close to their grandparents, or I was really close to my grandparents when they were alive, so like something about that will touch me and help me to heal too. So I think it's cool. It's just that I myself have no desire to be famous. So my hats are off to those who have that ability to hold so much love for others.
My camera just went off. Hold on. Oh, now it's acting real crazy. Can I call you right back?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna shut off with you here and then call you right back.
Okay.
Hello. Sorry about that. That was
Oh no.
that was really weird. Like my camera totally disappeared. That was really wild. Really wild. Anyways, so where were we? We're talking about the people on TV. I have one other question. You're
Oh yeah.
you're still here, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Um, how do you feel? I was at a Christmas party one year, and there was a, I'm not going to name her name, a very prominent psychic at this party. Does like big shows, you know, like Phil's concert halls and stuff. And she walked up to me and told me some information that I did not want to hear. Like I did not want to hear what she told me. Like it wasn't very positive, let's just say. And I felt almost violated, maybe. Like it was, you know, like not that she was in my head or reading me. That wasn't it. It was just like, you know what? I didn't want to hear bad news, you know, or something that could be. You know, it maybe it isn't bad news. You know, it's hard to tell because it's like, you know, it's just information. I guess it really comes down to how you take it. But at the time, I felt very like it was bad news. How do you feel about people that do that?
Yeah, that I've had that happen to myself. The thing is I don't know. I just really feel if you're going to give someone a reading, you have to get permission, even if they're not paying, or you have to say, "Hey, I got some guidance for you. Do you want to hear it?" And ask that person for permission. But also, I don't know. Then again, it's like intention comes in. I want to always bring information that is positive for my clients, or if it's maybe some information about challenges, about how they can do something to shift that, because you can create your own future. And so I guess the gift and blessing, if somebody tells you something really crappy that you don't like, is that you can say no and reject that and then choose differently. So I've had that happen too, where somebody was really they had good intentions, but the information was really hurtful, to be honest. And so I had to step back, and it was from a friend who's psychic. That's can you imagine being friends with other psychics?
Right,
you have to have really good boundaries about that and say, look, I like you as a friend, but I don't necessarily need to know what you think about X, Y, or Z in my life. So that's a real slippery slope.
So, like you said, you said you'd like permission. If I gave you permission to do a reading for me, is that something that we could do here?
Oh yeah. What? Let me see.
What do you need from me? I'm not prepared. I've done nothing to prepare for this. I just thought, oh.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to do it. We can do something like that. What I like to do is ask you, what's your question, and then we can zone in, and I'm not telling you things that aren't useful, if that makes sense.
So I need to have a question. Oh, I wish I was prepared. About, like, can it be really vague? Like, what's the rest of this year going to be like for me?
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, that's a little general. Like, if you want to be a little more specific, that helps me a little bit too, just so we don't have like an hour. So unless you do.
Are there things I can't ask? I don't want to be like, oh, what about my love life, or like things you don't want to talk about, like.
No, you know what,
Whoa, there it is again. Yeah, your camera.
I think it moved because I was like really drawn to using like this one oracle deck. I don't use a lot of decks, but for you, I was like drawn to it. So, if you want to ask like about a specific area, that's cool.
Oh, what about my love life?
So you want to date? Like that's what I'm getting. You're wanting to date? So there's something else though. Yeah, I'm feeling like there is some healing around you related to relationship questions. Can I just ask, are you in a relationship? Because I'm not feeling it one way or the other. It's like you want to be, because you asked.
I'm actually married.
Oh, okay. So, sorry.
No.
No, there is. It's like you guys are healing, and I think all relationships have underneath communication issues that need to be addressed. But you guys, yeah, it's like I don't know. There's nothing negative. It's like first of all, like I'm supposed to tell you when I say this too. It's like please know this. Like everything's okay. Like just because I didn't see you in a relationship doesn't mean that you weren't.
Right.
It could be too that you're focused on what you're doing right now and not your marriage right now. So that's why I didn't feel it. There's something, it's like, I don't know if you're thinking of renewing your vows or something or having an anniversary party. There's something coming up that it feels like a milestone, and honoring that is really important in the next few months. So be sure to, do something fun. And it feels like in the fall that if you don't do it this summer, like you're going to do something fun in the fall to honor that milestone. And there's travel. I see travel for you guys. I don't know
Like
if
that.
you, what's that?
I like that.
Yeah, it's not even that you have to go very far. It's like really, I don't feel like you've been on a vacation. It's like you need time to connect together. And let's see, it's funny. I'm seeing like you feel a little overwhelmed, like you have a list of things you want to do maybe around the house, and you don't feel like you have enough time to do it, and you're hard on yourself, but just know that you have the time to do it all and you will get it done. But it's like the healing opportunity I see, and this comes up for a lot of guys, is about feelings, being okay with discussing how you feel, if that makes sense, and how things make you feel, like how things come up and how they make you feel. That's really general, but these are things I think that you've thought about for a while, so they're like coming up. Let me see. There's like a bunch of people. Do you guys sort of have, I don't know, a big social life around you?
Not
Or
really.
not really? Because I'm seeing a lot of like, you're gonna get out there and do, because I'm seeing a lot of people around you, you're gonna start doing things more socially. So get ready. If you tend to be a hermit or something, you might have to let go of that in the next year, because you're going to meet some really cool people. And also, yeah, it's like some of them are really related to music, but there are people that you're going to meet more in person. And let's see, do you guys have 2 kids?
No, but there's a couple people in my life that I feel like are my kids sometimes.
Ah, okay, that's why, because I felt like, yeah, there's maybe 2 kids that want to be born to you, but if you already have those energies, that might be it. So I don't want to scare you. It's always your free will is whether you guys have kids or not. But and I'm trying not to intrude by reading your wife's energy. But yeah, there's there's a lot of it's like there's part of you, it's like wants to have a little boy, or there's a couple little boys that are going to be like honorary sons in your life. And that's, oh, I get it now. See, it comes like full circle. There's some healing there for you. And I think that it brings up some of healing your inner child, if you will, things from your childhood. By you having that uncle or parental role, it helps you to express maybe some energy or love that maybe you didn't receive it, because we all don't get what we need in childhood 100%, right? That's why there is punk rock or, different music. So this is going to be healing for you. And it's in a real gentle, subtle way, but it helps you to express some of that energy that you maybe didn't get, and you get to see what it's like and receive it while you give it. So do you have questions so far? Because I want to I want to honor you. I could blab all day.
No, I don't really know. I'm loving what you're telling me. I mean, it's good to hear this kind of stuff. I mean, it feels good to know what people, what's going on. Um, what else do I? Anything I want to know? Are you reading a deck right now? Is that what's going on? Like you have a deck
Just
out with
yeah,
you?
I did a little bit just to get started,
Can I
because we,
can I
yeah,
can I ask you like some extended family kind questions?
yeah. As long as,
Like not about a certain person, just about it. I've
yeah, is
got
it?
sort of like extended family issues going on right now that I don't
We all do.
understand. You know, like there's a few people that think that our family is falling apart, and I don't see it. And there's just a lot of drama going on, like just weirdness going on, and I don't really understand why or what's going on. Is that a weird question to ask?
No, and you're not alone because I think that there lots of people have family challenges. But the thing I'm thinking that came through for you about marriage or relationship, about communications, that might be that it's coming through about that situation too. I mean, all relationships are about communications, but yeah, I think it's so hard. What I'm getting is like you're really close to the situation. Do you feel sometimes too like you're the mediator, like you're responsible? Because I
Yeah.
feel,
Like
yeah,
like I always think that it's in some shape or form it's my fault or I gotta fix it.
yeah, and that's where I think you need to kind of let yourself off the hook a little. Sometimes, it's like, again, I feel like you're really hard on yourself about that, but it's like the thing I really get, and this will sound not so psychic, but it still comes through as a piece of guidance, is that family counseling would really help, obviously, to sort things out. It's impossible to sort it out on your own because you guys are all too close to it, but things will always look worse when you're involved in them and if you step aside from it. And I think that might be too where your wife will come in and support you and say, look, she's probably a really good person to talk to because she'll say, hey, look, you need to see it from a different angle. You need to look at things, maybe from a different perspective. And sometimes it's okay too. Like what I really get strongly from you is, or for you, is that just, maybe step aside for a couple months. And I think too that travel message might be, get away from, the situation. And hey, in our house, we went away at the holidays. We just said, okay, we need to, have our own thing and just the family. We don't want to be part of the family drama. So it's okay to take care of yourself. Just, that's the main thing to get from the bit with family.
Cool. So could so when the traveling portion there?
Yeah,
Could that possibly mean that I might be moving?
I think so. Like, are you
Because I really want to move.
okay? So, are you thinking mainland or
No,
because I
just
feel
location. I mean, it could be like it could be like the next town over. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm hoping that's what that means, but there's no really telling until it happens, right? So I'm looking at the
yeah,
summer or fall.
yeah. It's like you guys have a little bit of stuff to do to get ready, and I mean, everybody does, but it's like not as bad as you think. And be open to, do you own a house, right? Or
We're living in a house,
you,
yeah.
okay, so yeah, just start saying goodbye energetically or, mentally to your house if you can, and, get that going. But yeah, it's like, I get the time frame 3 to 6 months. So yeah, it is kind of like fall or summer.
Can I ask one more question?
Oh yeah,
What what do you see with the show that I'm doing right now in the
oh
future? I guess in the future, like what I've been doing this for 4 years, and I don't know where it's heading to. I mean, I really never have. I just go with where it goes, and I'm wondering if it's still going to be going. I guess maybe I don't know. That might be too pointed.
yeah. There's so you've been doing it 4 years, and you're wondering where it's going. It's like your heart is kind of wanting to do it differently, if that makes sense. Like looking at something new, like that you want to add, whether it's the style of show or types of guests. But I feel, yeah, there's just like more for you. You're supposed to get out there in a bigger way, and that happens a lot. We will put ourselves in a box,
I know, right?
and you know, but yeah, there's something too with your writing. It's like you're a really good writer. I didn't get to look at your site a lot, but it's like, I don't know, it's like writing more too about music, like adding that with what you're doing. But it's definitely a calling for you with the music and the interviews. And so it may be just a marketing thing. Like if you get out there more, it might feel better, or more things and ideas will come to you. But I feel like you're on the right path with it. I don't get anything that you're doing wrong per se. It's just like you're really, it's like being drawn to follow your heart more with it. Like do things that feel fun and bring that sense of joy to you. Like doing it just for the joy of it. Like if it was all about the joy, like who would be on the show, or who would you be working with? Yeah, those kind of
Right.
things.
Well, right on. That's cool. I don't want to take up too much of your time on this reading stuff because I know it's a drain on you and all that.
Oh, sorry, it's fun.
No, okay, that's cool. I mean, is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to tell me?
Yeah, let me see. Oh, it's really funny. I was playing with this one card, and I drew you this card. Let's see if you can see it. It says "New Home" on it.
You have to hold it up some. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
backwards. Yeah, it says "New Home."
Wow.
And it's backwards, of course, but it says moving is a step in the right direction for you. So that's, I think, a confirmation. And a lot of times the readings are just confirmation of what you already know, but it also feels like it puts some healthy space and distance with some of the family things, and also getting some connection and closeness with your wife, which we all want that, you know, in any relationship, romantically speaking. So I think, yeah, it's really funny. The artwork on the card is like got the hibiscus.
Oh, wow.
You probably can see it. So it's like, I thought maybe you'd want to move to the mainland, but no, it's very
Hawaii, yeah.
Hawaiian. Yeah.
Right on. Um, right on. Let's just, I guess, should we end the reading like that? I don't know how a reading ends, or like, is there something that we do? Unless
Yeah,
you
I
want,
mean,
unless you have stuff more. I have all day. If you want to just fill me with information about me, I love it. But I don't, again, I know that this is supposed to be draining on you. I don't want to.
no, I was prepared. Don't worry about it. Do this for a living too, so I know how to take care of myself. But I was really guided to ask, and I didn't see this on your website. But are you a musician yourself,
No.
or
Never.
have you thought?
I was in the ninth, in the middle school. I was in the choir.
Okay,
That's about it. I think after high school, I was in a band for like that did one show, and that was it. Like was like more like a jam band, but that's it. Never really in a band.
well, that counts. It felt like the creativeness of that really appeals to you. Like there's something about the creative side of music that you're not maybe exploring for yourself, or yeah, but it's like sing, do some fun things like where you're making music, and you might do that, just for fun. We put pressure on ourselves to perform and be at a certain level with it, but I feel that will open up some ideas for you with your show here, but also about other things, because when you're in the creative energies or the creative flow, other ideas come through, even if they're not related to the activity at hand, if that makes sense. So, because I think you have the energy too, you really do have the energy of a musician. So, I mean, you talk to a lot of them, obviously. So, yeah, you do have that yourself. You do have the ability. It's never too late. That's what your guides want me to tell you, is it's never too late. So if you wanted to start learning guitar or singing or something again, it's not too late, so.
Cool. That's it? Is there, what are the cards telling you? Now I feel like I need to know it all.
Yeah, and
Like,
I was
it's
going to
like,
say,
oh, it's mesmerizing. It's like, I want more.
well, about that too, there's all kinds of I always, tell people there are so many different oracle decks. You don't necessarily have to use, tarot. I know some of the cards in a tarot deck are scary. I mean, there's a lot of, different things like angel decks out there that you can use. So, and that's, one of the things, people ask, how can I be more psychic? Or, I don't want to pay a psychic to get a reading all the time. I'm like, well, use a deck, of oracle cards and just draw yourself one every day. And you start using those intuitive muscles and flexing them, and you'll start to notice things in your life a little differently. Like you'll start to see things and hear things and know things and, hear them, more profoundly. It starts you on that path because it's just listening. It's just taking the time to listen.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much. Feel this is good. This is good TV too, by the way. Everybody's gonna know all about me. I love it. So you have your website. What's your website again?
It's punkrockpsychic.com.
And where could you do Twitter too, right? You're a big Twitter person?
I'm on all the social media. Well, like Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all those. So
fun. Is there anything you want to talk about before I let you go? You want to talk about your book a bit?
Oh yeah, the book.
Let's talk about your book.
Yeah, it's so I guess surreal to say, oh, my book, because it was a lifelong dream, kind of thing. And yeah, I have a book coming out in November with Hay House. And it's called A Rebel Chick Mystic's Guide, and it's about healing yourself with positive rebellion, about how to use the energies of rebellion and reject things like your negative beliefs or sort of like your programming from growing up that no longer serves you. It's a self-help book, so I'm working on kind of being in both realms, the psychic and the self-help, but I try really hard to keep them separate, for people. If that makes sense. The self-help realm was more life coaching, but it's exciting because I know I'll be able to help larger number of people with having a book. So excited about that.
How long did it take you to write it?
Oh gosh, well, I've had the idea for a long time, but when I actually did put the glue on the chair and everything, it's a few months of a process. Most publishers want a book proposal nowadays, and that's how I went about it, because started with the book proposal, and then I sat down to write the book, and then I finessed it with an editor that I hired for a few months before submitting it. So it's like once you have your outline and you sit down, if you are used to writing, it's really not that big of an of a deal. It may sound like it is, to write a book, but if you sit down and you work on it, and I did it for 8 to 10 hours a day for a few months, so it's if you have a day job or something, it might take longer.
This is going to be on sale everywhere, Amazon, all that kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, they're gonna have it, all the main bookstores, I think, like Barnes and Noble, Amazon.com. Yeah, so
it'll be fun. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So you said it comes out in November?
Yeah, I have yeah, it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so yeah.
And there's a website that people can go and see stuff about it already?
Yeah, I have an author website. It's my first and last name, lisacelo.com. My last name is spelled below with an S, so SELOW. So I just launched that, so it's it's
so
a lot of work.
What are people going to find there?
I do have book trailers, so you kind of get to see what I'm about, and I'm going to start blogging there and adding some more content. I just got my website live probably a week ago with everything, so I have, it's kind of one of those things, just add content, right? So going to have some, coaching services and other, digital products for people and stuff to buy related to my book's topic.
What is the one thing that you think people out there need the most self-help for?
Oh, yeah, the one thing, I really think it's loving yourself. And it sounds selfish, but, we grow up, learning that we're not good enough, or that, insert negative limiting belief in there. And if you don't love yourself, it's really hard to do things like follow your path in life and to really, receive love from others. And if you feel that feeling of separateness, that can really make you feel isolated in the world. And that, negatively can affect a lot of different areas like your health, your happiness, and just, what you're able to bring into your life, whatever you're able to manifest or not. So I think that's the big thing, is loving, or if you like the word acceptance better, self-acceptance.
Interesting. And the book title again is what?
Oh, it's A Rebel Chick Mystic's Guide.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I hope
Oh,
I hope you get a lot of success with that. I'm sure you will because there's a lot of people that are probably looking for that. Yeah, that kind of help. Yeah.
yeah, thanks so much.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about before I let you go?
Oh, I'm just so grateful. Thanks for having me and putting up with the interesting woo-woo tech issues we
Oh, I
had.
love it. I love that kind of
Good.
stuff. It makes
It's
for good
like,
TV.
but I have fun, and it was great to connect with you on Twitter and here. And thanks for everybody listening or watching, and just wish you a lot of luck and success with your show and your website and everything. And keep in touch too.
For
Thanks so
sure.
much for having me.
For sure. Before we disconnect, are you willing to cut like a little bumper, one of those things that's like, hey, this is Lisa, the punk rock psychic. You're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker.
Oh, sure, yeah. And I feel bad because usually when I'm on a show or something, I like to offer coupons for readings
Oh,
and stuff. So
do you want to
if
do that?
people want, yeah, if people want to contact me, I'll tell you, I don't want to take up a lot more of your time, but just email me and I can give you a coupon, or whoever's listening rather, for it too. So yeah, but yeah, that I'm happy to use my amateur broadcasting skills.
Okay. So feel free whenever you're ready. Go for it.
This is Lisa, the punk rock psychic, signing off for Beneath Everything Radio with Ronnie Rucker. Thanks so much.